I'll tell you a funny story before we get back into your interview. I interviewed somebody 2 years ago, okay? And I remember the interview because I was at an event. I interviewed him, and we got him on the show. We got him on the show the year after. And we had him on the show, and Speedy wasn't there, but we were interviewing, me and my partner, Mikey C., and he remembered me. And he just dropped the hammer on me. This is before Jillian, before anybody. He dropped the hammer on me, told me I'm an ass, and blah, 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 blah. You don't know nothing what you're talking about, blah, blah. He remembered me, and I was like, wow, this guy, what did I say to him? And then all of a sudden, after I got off the phone, I call him back. He tells me, it's like, that's right, you know what, blah, 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 blah. That's payback time. So because of what I said to him a year before, he attacked me on my show a year after. So I try to hold up on what I say to some people, even in person, because I just speak from the heart sometimes, and I think it hurts. It hurts people's feelings. In professional sports, I know you know, as an athlete, you got to take the good and the bad. You have to. Absolutely. You have to. The problem is, a lot of these athletes, if you don't kiss their you-know-what, they're going to remember you for the rest of your lives, and they're going to hate you. Albert Bell being one of them, if you remember him. So Albert Bell is one of the greatest baseball players that will never go to the Hall of Fame because none of the analysts, the broadcasters, anybody interviewed him because he was an ass to everybody that interviewed him. They didn't vote him into the Hall of Fame. When you look at his numbers, his Hall of Fame numbers, absolutely. The numbers that he had in 8 or 9 years as an MLB player, I don't think could be touched by half the players that ever went to the Hall of Fame. So, unfortunately, you're remembered by what you say, not what you do. Anyways, we are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit, Dylan Ferguson. Now, Dylan, before I ask you my silly questions, because I do that with all the different people that come on this show, and they are silly and they're a little crazy. When you look at the game of hockey, you look at Gary Bettman. I'm not a big fan of Gary, but I like what he did with the NHL playoffs. I like the hub. I like what he did. I didn't like the fact that the qualifying rounds, whoever gets knocked out, you have an opportunity to get the number one pick, and the Rangers got it, which I disagree. I think the teams that didn't make the playoffs should have gotten the number one pick. Didn't agree with that with Gary Bettman. But everything else, I agree with what he's done. I think it was sensational what he did from all the other commissioners, and I think Gary Bettman's one of the worst commissioners in professional sports. When you look at the game of hockey, do you think hockey's in good hands moving forward? Be honest now. I know you're a hockey player. You look what's going on in professional sports right now, and I'm not going to get into that with injustice of society and anything like that. When you look at the game as a whole, do you see going and moving forward past maybe baseball or football or basketball in the near future?
You know, I really do. And I look at a team, I know you don't like the name, but Seattle Kraken. So in 2 days, they had a bigger following than the Florida Panthers have had since they opened their social media accounts, I think. So like, that just shows, like, even Vegas, like I played a preseason game there. Like, it wasn't even a real regular season game, and there was 19,800 people there to see this preseason game in Vegas. It's, you know, it's different, obviously, from Seattle because there's so many tourists and stuff, but I think they're doing the right thing. I really do, for growth-wise. And it's starting to show as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. So your favorite game that you ever played in, the craziest game you ever played in, also your favorite save you ever made, whether it's something super athletic, something like that, that you can remember. Was it a big save, something like that? Your favorite and the craziest one of each of those.
Wow. Putting me on the spot here. Eh? So my favorite save. There's a couple that come to mind, but I'm going to say my last year in Kamloops, I had a 3-0 win against the Spokane Chiefs, and it was probably my best game I've played in my junior career. And my glove was just on fire. And then in the third, I did one kind of like reaching back, like wide open net, and just absolutely robbed it to kind of seal the shutout. So that was that. You mind swinging those other two questions at me quick?
Yeah, your the favorite game that you ever played in, and the craziest game you ever played in.
Oh, man. I mean, those 9 minutes I played in Edmonton could definitely answer both of those, but I guess it's not a whole game.
You're 21 years old. You have a lot more to go, my friend.
I know. There's not too much in the bank yet, but yeah, I'm gonna say that. hockey-wise is my craziest memory, and getting into that game, I'm going to say it was the craziest game I've been a part of.
We are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson. Dill, you grew up rooting for who?
I was a Canucks kid. I was born in Vancouver.
And your Canucks are still in the playoffs. Surprisingly, knocked off the St. Louis Blues.
You have a conflict of interest here. Your current team and your
Vegas,
childhood
so.
team.
Who would have thought? But I'll tell you this right now. I love Vancouver. I love what they have to offer. I think they're one of the up-and-coming teams in the NHL. Young, fast. That kid, Quinn Hughes, who I met 2 years ago in Dallas when he was drafted, the kid is a star. He could turn out to be better than his brother, Jack. I mean, he's been sensational all season long, and he's probably going to win. Well, he can't win Rookie of the Year because it's not his rookie season. But
Yeah, he's eligible. He's eligible.
He's still
this year.
eligible.
Yeah.
So he can win. He can win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough test with him and Cale Makar. Both of them have very good numbers offensively this year for a defenseman.
Both of them sensational.
Yeah.
But we do this with all the recruits. We do this with all the different people we have on the show. I ask you silly questions, and I want you to answer a silly answer because the fans want to know. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Boxers or briefs, and why?
Oh, boxers. More room.
More room? You wear a cup, man. You wear a cup. What does it matter if you wear boxers or briefs? That's what I
Well,
hear.
yeah, that's fair. I'm not thinking about that in the middle of the game, though.
I don't blame you.
Well, you know what? Sometimes people say, I've heard somebody say they don't even wear any boxers or briefs. They go
That would be the
commando.
most honest answer. Honestly. You asked me the question and I answered.
I got it. I got your answer. We are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson. Second question is, favorite treats or food to eat before a game?
Oh, before a game?
Mm-hmm.
Pasta, man.
Pasta?
Pasta and chicken.
You don't throw up?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't know. Like I eat pretty early before games.
Right.
Like I'll usually eat at like 3:30 for a 7:00 game, and then have a snack every now and then up to it. But
You know what's funny? When you go to the games and the teams, they have all these different foods that you can eat. Even the players do. You go into the locker room and they have like the table set up with like food, you stuffed shells, whatever you want, chicken.
crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, how do these players actually not gain weight and become fat? I mean, I've walked in, I'm like, holy crap. I mean, you have a buffet in here. And I'm looking at the players and they're like, yeah, well, we don't eat any of that stuff. Get out of here. Don't eat it. Half of it's gone. Who is eating it? The referees? I mean, like, seriously. Third question, blondes or brunettes, and why?
Oh man, I got to be careful with this answer.
I know you have a girlfriend.
Nah.
No. Nah.
He's in Vegas. He's got to be careful with that.
I'm not in Vegas. I wish I was in Vegas. Am I allowed to say like a mix, kind of like an ombre or something?
An ombre. I like that. That's a good answer. An
I'm
ombre.
honestly not a big fan of like the platinum blonde.
The platinum blonde. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I would agree with you.
Okay.
An ombre. I never heard that before.
Yeah, that's our first one.
That's the first time I've heard
giving
that.
him that answer.
An ombre.
You know what I like?
What do you like?
Well, ombre.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say, you know what I really like, and you have a picture of it.
No.
This is what I like. All right. So we do this, and I ask these silly questions, but here's the question I ask to a lot of people. I like to ask the players, if we hung Speedy on a tree like a piñata, and you had a chance to hit him with any weapon you can, what would be that weapon? Would it be a bat, a hockey stick, a paddle? I mean, look at this guy. He's smiling at you. You have a chance to hit him a couple of times. Free hits. You won't get in trouble. You won't go to jail. What weapon would you hit this kid with?
Like one of those like sword balloons. You know what I mean?
He's trying to protect you.
Look at him. He's way too nice. He doesn't deserve that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, Dylan's sticking up for you. He's got his ombre and everything like that. I mean, you've got answers galore, my friend.
Congratulations, you're now the #1 favorite guest.
Yeah, I'll take that.
After all the guests that we've had, hundreds of guests that we've had so far in the last, I would say we've interviewed over 150 people in the last 4 months. So, and he says you're his favorite guest. So there you go, Dylan.
I want to hear some of the a couple of the answers that you've gotten.
Well, it has to be of all the sample that he asked the crazy questions to. So your sample isn't initially, because we had one of the first weeks we had one of the guys actually like hung up the phone when he asked a crazy question.
Well, he didn't hang up the phone. It wasn't. So we had the Chicago Bulls play-by-play guy on the show. And I said, okay, I got some silly questions to ask you. And I said, the first question I asked him, I said, if you were to get dressed in women's clothes and go out in public, what would you wear? He was quiet for like 10 seconds. And then he said, you know what, guys, thank you for getting me on the show. I hope your show moves forward, blah, 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 blah. Nice talking to you. Goodbye.
So basically there was a hiatus after that until probably June or something like that.
Wow. I kind of took a hiatus from asking the silly questions until I got the young recruits, because you want to know something. The older analysts, and we've interviewed a lot.
I think it was Shea Bowden. I think was the first one you went at after that with the crazy questions. I think that was early June, and then you started doing it after that.
Yeah, you know what? Because I want to see your personality. I want to see what you're going to come up with and how crazy you could be. I mean, I'm a crazy person, but outside the lines, you can ask anybody. Yeah, I'm a little crazy off air, but all in all, I'm a funny guy. I'm a cool guy. I'm down to earth guy. And if you came up to me and didn't know me, or you asked me to autograph something or talk to you, I'm one of the nicest people you'll ever meet when it comes to that. I will talk to you for hours. I like to have conversations with whoever when it comes to sports or just anything. I think it's great when somebody comes up to you and wants to talk to you and have a conversation with you. I just think a lot of these analysts, these writers, unfortunately, when you go to these events, especially Stanley Cup Finals, which I was there last year when St. Louis hoisted Stanley Cup, a lot of these analysts, they're just asses. That's what they are. They're complete, utter asses. And being around them and them talking, where are you from? You know where I'm from? I'm not from anywhere you're from, because if I am, I'd shoot myself. That's what I'd say to them. So the different people. You go to Toronto. You go, like, I'm going to go to Montreal this year for the NHL draft, and I'm going to sit there. And some of these guys are just so egotistic and they're just nasty people. You know what I mean? So I'm not nasty. So you know what I do? I completely ignore them, Dill. So that's how I am. No matter if they want to talk to me or not. Yeah, that's the way you're going to be the next big superstar goaltender. You're going to see him.
That is my plan.
Well, I'll tell you this: when we're going to keep in touch with you, we're going to get you on the show again. I'm rooting for you. I'm actually going to buy, when you get up and you're the #1 goaltender on an NHL team, I am going to buy a Dylan Ferguson jersey, and I am going to be your fan. I'm not going to be the team's fan unless you're playing for the Islanders.
You love Vegas' jersey, though.
I really appreciate that, man.
I love Vegas, actually. I'm a Vegas Knight fan. So I've when they came into the league, I like, first of all, the GM came from the Islanders, okay? He came from the New York Islanders organization. I love what they did. I love how they reconstructed their team, the expansion draft. Everything that they did was so smart. And Marc-Andre Fleury going at the #1 pick, being in the expansion draft, the Florida Panthers did the same thing with John Van Beesbrook in 93, 94, and that helped that team go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals in 96 because of John Van Beesbrook. Same thing with Marc-Andre Fleury. So I agree. Goaltending wins championships. That's all I'm going to say. Dill, why don't you tell the fans how they can find you on social media?
Yeah, sure. Instagram is Dylan_Ferguson1. I think my Twitter is dferg_98, and that's really all I'm on. So, again, guys, I really, really appreciate the time. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. And we're going to get you on again, and we're going to be pen pals, okay? That's what we're going to do. And when you come up, whenever you're playing in the NHL, my friends, you come up playing for whoever you're playing against the Islanders or Rangers, we're going to take you and your significant other out here in Long Island and show you around the beauty of what Long Island and New York is, because I think people misjudge what New York is all about. When they think of the 5 boroughs, they forget about Long Island and how beautiful Long Island is.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Dill, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Absolutely. Jillian, give a shout out to Jillian. Dylan has been fantastic, Jillian. Jillian, you are a rocket. You're a superstar. You're a rocket star. That's what we're going to call her. We're going to get her a jersey.
Yeah.
We're going to get a jersey. It's going to say Dylan. We're going to say Ferguson, and on the bottom, it's going to say Rocket Superstar. That's what we're going to do. What's your number? How's that sound?
I like it a lot.
Dill, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.